there was so every week, for those that follow Barstool Sports, one of the bigger names in Barstool Sports is Big Cat, and every week he releases his own power rankings. So I've been showing you these pretty recently because they're quite funny.
Oh, yeah.
So this week his power rankings are, the top tier is Juggernauts, which has the Bills, Eagles, and Chiefs. Super Bowl contenders are the 49ers and Cowboys. And again, I should stop and say this before I continue. These are not to be taken seriously.
It's all satire.
These are satire and for entertainment purposes only. So before we get too crazy,
not thinking that the 49ers and the Cowboys are Super Bowl favorites.
He doesn't think that they're legitimately going to go to the Super Bowl. Good teams: Dolphins, Bengals, Chargers, Ravens, Giants, Jaguars. Fun teams: Falcons and Lions. And fun team, but only when passing backwards at the end of a loss: Chicago Bears. Elder abuse: Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Indianapolis Colts. Can beat some teams, but can also lose to every team: the Titans, Saints, Patriots, Jets, Browns, and Seahawks. The Kirk Cousins tier: Vikings and Rams. The teammates that hate their quarterback tier: Broncos, Commanders, Packers, and Brooklyn Nets. The soon to sign with Atlanta. I can't tell who that one guy is, and then there's a Mets player here. I think that's a pitcher or something there. I can't recognize the face. The booty tier: Cardinals, Steelers, Texans, and Raiders, and then the booty cheeks tier is Carolina and the Oklahoma Sooners.
All right.
So that's what we got from Big Cat this week. And you know what? I don't think he's too far off.
Yeah, I would agree with a lot of those, especially the elder abuse and the hating your quarterback one. Rodgers. I think it's the opposite. I think Rodgers hates his entire team. He just, like, every time he's out there, he's rolling his eyes, his head's down. Like, he just is, like, really disappointed that, like, he's on that team. Really probably wishing that he did not sign that big extension, that he went elsewhere. Tom Brady, I've said since before the season started, he's not going to be good this year, simply just because of what's going on off the field. It's still Tom Brady. He's still not a terrible quarterback.
He's still putting up decent numbers, but there's something missing.
It's that fire, that competitiveness. It's not there.
Yeah.
So that affects his leadership, and it affects his ability to go out there and, I think, win a game. He just doesn't look like he wants to go out there. Like, they're paying him to go out there, and that's about the only reason he's doing it. Like, he's lost that love for the sport.
And I think all of his fire and love for the sport left his body in rage when he crushed that tablet again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I think he used all that energy up there. But I will say, this is, so many times when we talk about sports and you say, oh, I said this, and it's like, yeah, okay, sure you did. I will say, Zach did say that he thought that Tom Brady would have a bit of a decline this year. And
you disagreed.
I did, because I wasn't sure. I was like, Tom Brady has had, like, he's the greatest of all time when it comes to quarterbacks.
Yeah. And I don't think the age is the issue there.
No.
It's the off the field. You get rid of Giselle headache stuff and the divorce, and I mean, obviously we talked earlier that it looks like they filed for divorce lawyers, and it's happening most likely. You take all that out of there, and I think Brady has a normal season where he's just going to go out there, he's going to have pretty good numbers, and the Bucs do well. But it's also a new coach. They don't have Arians. It's things have basically remained the same, but but I couldn't see it. I think that it's too much of a headache off the field for Brady to keep his head in football. There's too many things going on. As my grandfather said when I used to play, pigskin and fair skin don't mix. And I think Brady's figuring that out because footballs used to be made of pigskin, leather, Well, now it's leather. It used to be actual pigskin. But anyway, and I think Brady's kind of having that issue, is where his personal life and his sports life, they're not mixing. It's like oil and water right now, and it's not working out for him, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think there's definitely some issues. And I think, and I just realized that I have this soundboard up, but for whatever reason it's not working. So when you're talking about Tom Brady's off the field issues, I was playing the Brian Kelly clip of Family.
Yeah.
Because that's his off-field issues. But for whatever reason, that's not working. And I've been sprinkling in the Goodfellas laugh throughout the broadcast as well, but that's not working either.
That's good.
But yeah, so anyway, I think you're right. There's definitely, he's not focused right now. It's not all there for him.
No.
And, I think it's easy to say, oh, he should have stayed retired, and maybe he should have, and
I think he should
probably
have.
should have, but
Well, it would have saved his marriage, and
yeah.
I think his reputation to an extent as well. Still Tom
And
Brady, but
yeah, exactly. And what's more important, football or
family.
Family.
I hate to say it. In NFL, if you ask them, it's going to be football. But as a player, their focus should be 100% on off the field, because at the end of the day, you're going to retire from the sport, and you're not going to be doing that for the rest of your life. But I think Brady, he's a competitor through and through, and I think he loves the attention. He has a bigger ego than most. Now, he's earned it. I would definitely say that there's a reason he has that ego, but he doesn't want people to look at him like he's older and he can't do it anymore, and he wants to prove those people wrong. But he already has. There's no reason to continue to try, and I don't think he has that in him. I think he needs to do it until he genuinely can't anymore.
Yeah, I think we're all pretty sold on the fact that Tom Brady has had a good career, right?
Yeah,
I don't think he has anything else to prove.
Fairly decent, I think. Yeah, no, exactly. He doesn't. The man has won 7 Super Bowls. He's the greatest athlete, I would say. Well, maybe not athlete. He's the greatest football player of all time. I wouldn't call him much of an athlete, in some ways. But no, he's across almost any sport. He's one of the most successful to ever do it. But apparently he has something he thinks he has to prove. At least that's the way I'm taking it. I don't know what it might be, but he's past his prime, and I don't think physically, but I think mentally he's just reached his limit.
Yeah, I think this is it for him.
Yes.
I think this has got to be it. I don't
Well, his
think...
contract's up after this season, I believe, as well, right?
Yeah, but I mean, look, if Tom Brady says he wants to play one more year of football, there's going to be plenty of teams that are going to want to sign him.
100%.
So it's not on the fact that, his contract's going to expire and nobody's going to sign him. I think it's the fact that it's time. It's done. You've had a great career, a great career.
Oh, 100%.
All good things must come to an end. It's time.
Stop while you're ahead. There's no reason. And we also had this conversation the other day about Eli Manning. He stayed into it probably a little longer than he should have, and the Giants had the guts to bench him. And I don't think anybody will ever bench Brady, but I think it's the idea of knowing when to quit, because there's a time and a place for it. And last season was that. Brady went out on a high note. Obviously, he didn't win the Super Bowl, but he went out on a good note. His resume that year was great. He had fantastic stats, and he played a great season. Go out while you can. There's no reason to push it farther and test your luck. And what does he do if he gets hurt? He's a lot older. You get hit too hard by somebody and you break a couple bones, he may never heal. I mean, he's in his 40s. He tears an ACL. Who knows? I mean, he might never be walking the same way. Like, it's just, why risk it? You have a family at home. You have a bunch of young kids, and you have a wife who put her entire career away for you. Don't test that luck. Enjoy it while you can. But
I think that is a great point. I mean, you can't really say anything against that, because, I mean, what are you gonna say? You should play more football. The guy's like 300 years old.
Exactly. Playing football since we were in diapers.
Yeah. No, he has been. He seriously has been.
He got drafted in 2000.
Yeah.
2001.
Yeah.
I mean, he was drafted before we were born.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he's been playing football our entire lives, which him off the field is going to be, as much as I don't like Brady, but
it's going to be bizarre.
I respect him. Exactly. He's been playing our entire lives. Growing up, I mean, we watched Brady play almost every Super Bowl. I mean, it would seem to be anytime he turned on the Super Bowl, there he was. I mean, that's all it was about. But, seeing him not out there is going to be, like you said, bizarre, but it needs to happen. Go down as a legend, not as, a menace.